The Arizona Wildcats beat the Arizona State Sun Devils. Final score: Arizona Wildcats 73 to the Arizona State Sun Devils 49. Um, Something that I wasn't quite sure about was they in the last field goal that was scored by ASU was when there was 9 minutes left in the second half. And I couldn't really understand. I mean, if they didn't score any field goals after that, then the Arizona Wildcats going to put a stop to them at that point. But then I realized that then I looked at the stats, the play-by-play, and they did score more points after that 9 minutes and 33 seconds in the second half. It's just those rest of those points that the ASU Sun Devils scored were from the free throw line. I think they scored 5 more from the free throw line, but the last time that the Arizona Wildcats scored was 33 seconds left in the second half. So, there was quite a bit of time that the Arizona Wildcats were able to stop anybody from driving and getting a field goal anywhere on the court, a three-pointer or a two-pointer, wherever it may be. But the ASU Sun Devils did pretty good because they, from three-point land, with making 5 for 17, which is that's 29%, but still that's not too bad. They were the ASU Sun Devils weren't shooting too great from the three-point land behind the arc in the first half, but then they kind of, it just kind of the three-pointers just kind of dropped for ASU every once in a while, and that was nice for them. There was they were going to see what happened with ASU after they lost Jahi Carson from last season, and they also lost McKissick's, I think, or it was a different guy that they lost. I think they do have McKissick's this season. Let's see. Yeah, they do have Shaquille McKissick's, and he had 8 points. The highest score. Nobody from ASU scored over 10 points. Everybody scored the highest score was 9 points, and that was Jerry Blake's. He knocked down a few free throws, and he also made a couple field goals. So that's why he had 9 points. But as far as the Arizona Wildcats, there was 3 guys that scored over 10 points. All of them had 13 points. There was nobody that scored over more than 13 points. Brendan Ashley had 13 points. Rondé Hollis-Jefferson had 13 points. Stanley Johnson had 13 points. So the next stat that was helpful to the Arizona Wildcats was this is my own belief, the total amount of turnovers or the total amount of rebounds, and that would be 8 total rebounds from Rondé Hollis-Jefferson, 7 more defensive, and 1 of them was offensive. 2, Stanley Johnson from the Arizona Wildcats has 7 total rebounds. 2 of them were offensive, and 5 of them were defensive. I just always, I think offensive rebounds are really, really valuable because what they do is they build confidence for your team whenever you get offensive rebounds, and they also demoralize the opposing team a little bit whenever they cannot get offensive rebounds. The total amount of offensive rebounds for the ASU Sun Devils was 6, and the total amount of offensive rebounds for the Arizona Wildcats was 8. After that disappointing ending with Arizona against UNLV last week, then I was kind of hoping to get more offensive rebounds for the Arizona Wildcats. I think that was just a big killer for the Arizona Wildcats whenever they played against UNLV, and of course, I think Brian Jeffries was saying, the other thing that was a killer for the Arizona Wildcats was free throws. And tonight they definitely did much better in free throws. They shot 16 from 19 from free throw land, which is 84% from free throw land, which is very good. I think that Sean Miller, the coach for the Arizona Wildcats, kind of hopped on them and said you need to clean up your free throws and had them work on that quite a bit, and that's why they were able to make 16 out of 19 free throws. Second chance points was one of the things that killed the ASU Sun Devils. That we had 10. The Arizona Wildcats had 10 second chance points, and the Sun Devils had 6 second chance points. That may not seem like a whole lot, but like I said, offensive rebounds and second chance points, it demoralizes the opposing team. It kills the spirit of the opposing team. If you look at the total amount of rebounds, with ASU having 23 rebounds and the Arizona Wildcats having 33 rebounds, that's 10 more rebounds, and that was one of the telling tales of why there was so much dominance from the Arizona Wildcats. The Arizona Wildcats also had a nice contribution, of course, from the bench. We had the Arizona Wildcats had 28 points from bench, while ASU Sun Devils had 17 points from the bench, and with Rondé Hollis-Jefferson starting, then you had Stanley Johnson was coming off the bench, and whenever Stanley Johnson came off the bench, then he scored 13 points. So 13 of those 28 points were from Stanley Johnson. But we also had nice contributions from Dusan Ristic, which had 9 points, which is very cool, and pretty much we had a couple knocked in shots from Gabe York and a couple knocked in shots from Jackson-Cartwright, and then there was just those contributions is what made it advantageous for the Arizona Wildcats bench players, why they were able to get so much more bench points than the ASU Sun Devils. So let's see. I think that's pretty much everything. I mean, the Arizona Wildcats were hot off the beginning. As far as three-pointers, I think they made 4 out of 6 from three-point land in the first half, and then in the second half, then they cooled down way down and only shot 25% from three-point land. The Sun Devils shot 50% from three-point land in the first half, but then the second half, then they shot 2 for 11 or 18% from three-point land in the second half. So they were just, they were really knocked out of sorts on the second half, and that was also one of the reasons why the ASU Sun Devils just could not get back into this game. The ASU Sun Devils did put up quite a fight whenever they were, whenever they were playing this game, because I mean, at one point, at the end of the first half, with it being, I think the biggest lead that the Wildcats had was 25 points, 25-point lead, but then and that was in the second half, but ASU just kept on fighting, and they didn't give up, and that's pretty cool. So they did, it was a, what was it, a 24 point win, but just the ASU Sun Devils didn't just let it go, because I mean, at half it was 25-45. I mean, that's a 20-point difference at half. But then the second half, then the ASU Sun Devils scored 24 points, and the Arizona Wildcats only scored 28 points. So that's only a difference of 4 points in the second half. So it wasn't so major in the second half, and just the Arizona ASU Sun Devils just kind of fought back and just kind of stayed within this game. It didn't let it be a blowout, and they could have, it could have been really nasty, but the ASU Sun Devils did. I mean, they lost by 24 points, but still, I mean, it could have been a lot worse. And let's see, what else? What other stat can we see that? We shot 51% field goal percentage for the Arizona Wildcats, and the ASU Sun Devils shot 32%. So that's a major difference. Let's see, personal fouls, no, total points. 14 assists. This was one thing that I couldn't. I think T.J. McConnell was kind of out of his game a little bit, because he had 3 turnovers, and Stanley Johnson had 3 turnovers also, and Stanley Johnson had 7 turnovers against UNLV, and I think that was the major killer for that UNLV game. But T.J. McConnell had 3 turnovers for this game, which is uncharacteristic for T.J. McConnell, our point guard for the Arizona Wildcats. So I don't know what was going on with him, but he had 3 assists. That's kind of low. He used to get 6 or 7 assists a game, so it was kind of low for T.J. McConnell. I don't know what was going on. He only scored 7 points tonight too, so I think he was just really rattled up, and something else was. I mean, maybe he was focusing more of its attention towards something else, but I kind of hope that he switches those. He increases the amount of assists, definitely, to get around 6 or 7, because that's what T.J. McConnell, that's one of his strong points, and he definitely lowers those turnovers. 3 turnovers, that's not good at all. Hollis-Jefferson had 3 turnovers also. So that was a 15 total of 15 turnovers, and I think that the coach for the Arizona Wildcats is going to harp on this players quite a bit for having 15 turnovers, because that's not really acceptable for Sean Miller, for the head coach for the Arizona Wildcats. So we'll see. But I mean, the thing about it is there's always something that you could. There's always something that you can learn from every single game. Something that you can improve on, or something that you can, not worry about so much next time. And one of the things that they need to improve on this time is the amount of turnovers that they got. That's definitely not good. And just I really think that they need to increase the amount of offensive rebounds that they're getting, more points in the paint. The Arizona Wildcats had 26 points in the paint, and the ASU Sun Devils had 16 points in the games in the paint, which is that's a 10-point difference inside the paint. But we should. I think the Arizona Wildcats should have had more of an imprint on the inside the paint than they did, because there's just a lot of big guys for the Arizona Wildcats. And another thing that I saw whenever I was watching the game is it seemed like ASU would just kind of shoot those shots from 18 points or 18 feet or behind the arc or wherever, and then no ASU Sun Devils were there to rebound. And that was one of the things that I noticed. But then the Arizona Wildcats, whoever shot, wherever they shot, then there was a bunch of Arizona Wildcats were in there trying to get rebounds. So, I mean, we may not have, the Arizona Wildcats may not have got that many offensive rebounds, not as many as I like, with only getting 8 offensive rebounds, but at least they had the bodies that were down in there in the key. As far as fast break points that resulted from the then they were tied up. The ASU Sun Devils had 4 had 4 fast break points, and the Arizona Wildcats had 4 fast break points. So it's not like you crowd in there and trying to get those rebounds, then you're gonna get killed on the other side because your guys didn't get back quick enough in time, and so there was a lot of fast break points. No, there wasn't. There wasn't a lot of fast break points. Only 4 fast break points for ASU, only 4 for Arizona. So that wasn't a big deal. I guess it just, we just didn't get as many offensive rebounds as I was hoping, but hopefully they'll improve that next time. So anyway, the Arizona Wildcats win this game against the ASU Sun Devils. The final score: Arizona Wildcats 73 to the ASU Sun Devils 49.